Hi friends, and welcome back to the very first video of 2025. Yes, we made it through 2024. Now we all know January can be a little bit of a lackluster month. Everything feels just a little less colourful, the decorations are down, the festive period is over, and we're all trying to get over those January blues. So I thought today, me and you could go over some of the craziest facts about one of the most colourful, unhinged, and vibrant horror movies out there, and that's the KillerKlowns from Outer Space. And yes, before you say it, I totally agree, this is not a full-on horror movie. It is definitely more of a comedy, but it is so good. And if you have not seen it, I highly suggest you go and watch it. If you have seen it and it's just been a little while, let me refresh your memory over the plot and story before I go over these crazy facts. Teenagers Mike and Debbie one night see a comet crash outside of their sleepy small town. They go investigate and discover a pack of murderous aliens who very much look like circus clowns. Even their spaceship is a giant circus tent. And after realizing these Martians do not come in peace, Mike and Debbie try to warn the local authorities, who of course assume their story is a prank and nobody believes them. Meanwhile, the clowns have already made their way to the town, causing absolute havoc. The clowns set about capturing the townsfolk in giant cotton candy cocoons, terrorizing them with deceiving balloon animals and popcorn guns. The clowns use up the little time they plan to have on Earth to harvest and eat as many people as they possibly can. They are basically treating Earth as like a McDonald's, a quick drive-through, come down, eat some people and leave. One of the clowns manages to kidnap Debbie, and Mike decides it's up to him to stop the clown's bloody rampage and come face to face with Clownzilla. And I promise you, the movie sounds pretty scary on paper, but in reality it is so much fun. It's funny, it's entertaining, it's colourful. It will put you in a really good mood. And it has become one of the most beloved cult movies out there. Just like any other cult movie, it comes jam-packed with absolutely insane and crazy facts. So without ado, let's get cracking and let's look at my 8 favourite facts about the KillerKlowns from Outer Space. Number 1. Clownzilla's theme was actually originally meant to be for Jason Voorhees. Music composer Mazzari originally created this soundtrack for the Jason Lives trailer. However, after listening to it, the producers of Jason Lives rejected the music Mazzari sent them, stating it sounded like a clown marching. Luckily, Mazzari saved the music he had written and he took the Jason Lives feedback quite literally, and it ended up being used for Clownzilla's entrance instead. I listened to this soundtrack quite recently and I really do not think it sounds like clown specific music. I think the Jason Lives producers were definitely a little bit too harsh on it. I'm gonna put a little clip here just for you to listen to. I can't do too much though because of the copyright stuff, but I highly suggest you go and take a good listen. Let me know below if you think it sounds like clown music or whether it just sounds like a horror soundtrack. Hey, we are on to fact number 2. And in 2022, an official short movie was released for the KillerKlowns from Outer Space. This was in relations to the Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights they had over in Hollywood. But it is great. It's only about 1.5 to 2 minutes, fully worth a watch. It's very fun considering they haven't done anything in so long. But the official short movie fact also brings me on to fact number 3. The KillerKlowns from Outer Space have appeared in Halloween Horror Nights, both Orlando and Hollywood, multiple times. Their first appearance was in HHN 28, which was in the year of 2018, and that was over in Universal Studios Orlando. Now, the creators of that year only gave the KillerKlowns from Outer Space a scare zone. I myself was lucky enough to attend that year. Before I moved out here to Florida, we would travel the distance to come and do this event every single year. If you've never had the opportunity to do HHN, either Orlando or Hollywood, Please do it at some point, it's great. In HHN 28, this scare zone got such high praise from the attendees of the park that John Murdy, who is the mastermind behind both Hollywood and Orlando, ended up giving the KillerKlowns From Outer Space a main event, a scare house, the following year in both Orlando and Hollywood. And again, I was very fortunate enough to do that year as well, and I really remember this house. You was basically walking through the KillerKlowns From Outer Space ship. You had cotton candy cocoons everywhere. You could see the people inside half melted. The killer clowns were jumping out. There was popcorn guns everywhere, and of course you had the main event, the big boy himself, Clownzilla, towards the end, and he was a giant puppet above an entrance of the door, so you had no choice but to walk under him. It was brilliant. We didn't see the killer clowns come back for, a couple of years in the parks, but eventually the team did bring them back in 2022, and they gave them another house, this time in Hollywood only. Okay, you guys, on to fact number 4. We are officially halfway through. The theme song for Killer Klowns was sung by pop punk band The Dickies. It is a proper song that goes on for about 4 minutes. There's an official music video and it's great. If you're not quite sure who The Dickies are, they are the brilliant minds behind songs like Banana Splits, which actually ended up being basically the theme tune for Hit Girl from Kick-Ass. I am a big fan of Kick-Ass. That is probably one of my favorite comic book series. I actually have all of my comic books signed by the creator Mark Miller. I went and saw him, got them signed. So I love anything by Mark Miller. I adore. We're on to fact 5. There is a game, and it's literally just called Killer Klowns From Outer Space, the game. But sometimes simple works though, right? It boasts a pretty good score on IGN, with them giving it a 7 out of 10, and is basically a survival horror. I would compare the play of this game to Dead by Daylight or even the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So if you like those games, give this one a go as well. It is also a pretty new game. It was only released, I think July 2024, so it's only been around for, 6-7 months. Go play it. Let me know if you enjoy it. We are now on to fact number 6, and this movie was a huge flop. The creation of the movie was given a budget of roughly $2 million, and after hitting theaters on May 27, 1988, the total it made back was only $745. There was hardly any marketing for the movie. Nobody knew that it was even in theaters. It definitely did not deserve to receive the negative remarks and comments it did. It didn't deserve to only make $745. The practical effects in this movie are top notch, especially for a movie that was made and released in the 80s. This is one of the best practical effect movies out there. The score and the music for this movie is great as well. Everything just meshes. It just is a good movie. It's fun. I think that is why it has built up such a huge cult fan base today, where I feel like if it was released in today's standards, it probably would have made, multi-million dollars. You can see how much love and effort they really did put into this movie. The fact they only had $2 million, they probably didn't have any budget for marketing. But all that matters is we love it today, and we now give it the praise it fully deserves. Fact number 7. The original title was only meant to be Killer Klowns. The movie was released towards the end of the 80s at the absolute height of the slasher genre. By the time this movie was released, we already had Jason, Michael, Chucky, Freddy, Slumber Party Massacre, My Bloody Valentine. We could go on, and the creators of Killer Klowns really thought that if they left the name as it was, it could cause people to mistakenly believe it was a slasher style film featuring clowns. They opted in to add the From Outer Space to give it the more B-rated kooky feel it was going for and not to confuse people. However, based on the amount of money it made, maybe a little bit of clickbait might have helped them in the box office. But I am glad that they did change it though, as Killer Klowns From Outer Space definitely sits better with the vibe of the movie. Okay, you guys, last but definitely not least, we're on to fact number 8. The masks used in Ernest Scared Stupid were from KillerKlowns From Outer Space. In his 1991 film Ernest Scared Stupid, Ernest accidentally unleashes a killer troll that goes after the children in his town. The creators of Killer Klowns, the Chiodo brothers, actually worked on the creature effects for the movie, and they just said, why create something from scratch when you already have such an incredible foundation? So the Chiodo brothers opted to reuse 2 of the Killer Clown molds. The trolls were of course painted differently and have completely different prosthetics attached to them, but the sculpt itself was from the famous cult classic movie KillerKlowns From Outer Space. Those are my 8 favorite facts around the KillerKlowns From Outer Space movie. I really hope this brought some color and vibrancy and enjoyment to your January. Let me know what you would like to see next, and until then, I'll see you in the darkness. Bye guys.